Nobody expects me to be on time. Oh, hello. Thank you for checking in. It is Tuesday. Terrible Tuesday. Tasty Tuesday. Dramatically terrific Tuesday. Thanks for checking in. Great to see everybody. Let me say hello to you all. Allura Star and Shocker and Sturgis Sky and Tesis and House of Dave and Sam and St. Clinton and Eric and Petey and Tim and Ryan and Photo and Philip Chandler and Mark Mean and Star Raven and Ian G. Tomlinson and Fairies Lover and Lucky Girl and Azure Yusuf and The Cram and Marcel and Jim Dandy and Sturgis Guy and Bill Knaus and Scott Kimmis and Joe Barney and Red Stapler and John McCain and N1QOV and Blair Cooper and Brett and Terry Sue and Joe Barney and Cosmic Joe and Good Looking Guy and Cosmic Joe and Jay Dahlman and Kata Kata and Max and Marty and Wing Doggy and Boot and Swede. Am I missing anybody there? Let me see. Good Looking Guy. So hello. Thank you for checking in. And David Jones wants to remind me that while I'm in California, and it is chilly and dark, and I actually, tomorrow, I believe, is the shortest day of the year. We have like 3.5 minutes of daylight. Hello, Linda. Yeah. It is December, and the rest of the country is having weather. In fact, extreme weather. Some snowstorms and blizzards and all kinds of craziness. It is chillier in Los Angeles and darker and gray. Seriously, it's like the day is like half an hour long. And tomorrow, I believe, is the official shortest day of the year. Somebody told me that. And hello, everybody on Google and YouTube. And YouTube is requesting that I do not speak about any political stuff today. Then it really will be a traumatic Tuesday. Because we are in grave danger. Okay. So woohoo. So hello, everybody. And hi, Laura. Hope you're doing well and feeling better. I think you were sick last week. Anyhow, so So I know the rest of you are experiencing weather. And I'm sorry, but I live in California. And so there. Oh, and Linda is going for her sleep study to study her sleep apnea to find out if she needs a machine to keep her breathing at night. Probably. Linda, they're going to find out that you need a whole bunch of machines and you're going to come back bionic. While you were asleep, we gave you a few upgrades. Here's the manual. Good luck. So, yes, and YouTube is commenting that I'm going for the Lady Godiva look. And yes, it's true. My hair is long enough to cover my boobs now. And I have tested that. Works naked too. It's true. I'm going to just keep growing my hair so that I don't need clothes and I can just wear my own like little woolly mammoth coat of hair around. Okay. So hope you guys had a good weekend. And the crazy thing is this weekend is Christmas. What? We're a few days from Christmas and just over a week away from the end of the year, New Year's Eve, the end of 2016. I know I've been saying this for like, I don't know, the last month, but I can't wrap my brain around it. I don't know how how is it Christmas and New Year's anyhow? But I have a wonderful Christmas planned with Sweetie. So that part will be nice. And we'll have much better weather than you guys, but I can't wrap my head around that it's Christmas. David Jones says you don't wrap your brain, you wrap presents for Christmas. Actually, I don't wrap. That's one of the things. I don't wrap anything. I if I'm here to give you a present, you get it in a bag with some tissue paper. If I'm sending somebody a present, they get it in a box. Maybe there's tissue paper, but usually when I send all of my gifts to my family, I cram the box so full of stuff that there's no room even for tissue paper. So they just get a box crammed full of unwrapped random stuff. With no names. Like if I'm sending a box to the whole family, there's no names attached to anything. They just open it up and they're like, who wants this? What is this? I don't know. You take it. So that's part of the mystery potluck fun of opening my packages. It's like a grab bag of Secret Santa crap. It's not, I just don't wrap anything because A, I cram the box full of so much stuff, and B, I feel like it's a giant waste of paper and time and resources and all of that. And I'm just not into wrapping because I mainly it's because I cram everything in so much that wrapping won't work. But I just feel like it's such a waste. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of paper. It's a waste of money. Because what do? You rip it all off and throw it away. And then you end up with a pile of garbage, a giant pile of garbage after Christmas. I just send a giant box full of stuff. But I send a giant box. I send a whole bunch of stuff. And sometimes, okay, more than sometimes, I'm the only one sending anything. So they're lucky they got a present, right? Right? Yeah, they really do, Linda. Linda says they open it up and go, what the hell? What is this? I don't know. Why did she send me this? Hi, Thesis. So, but, they get presents, so. Yeah. So yeah, but if it, and I don't wrap anything if you're here, if I'm giving you a present in person, you get a little bag with tissue paper because I save all, you know, all that stuff. You get everything in bags. I don't know about you guys, but I care about recycling, so I save all those bags. I save tissue paper, so I always have that stuff. I never buy bags or tissue papers or wrapping paper. I have it all. Hey, Wing Doggy, how are you? Hello. But I care about recycling and the environment and I don't know, the atmosphere and the air and the water and all the stuff that's precious to the earth. I do care about that. And while I'm not making any political commentary, I am extremely worried about putting people in charge of environmental protection who have in the past stated their goal is to destroy the Department of Environmental Protection. Okay, that might be good for the oil companies to make a profit, but that won't be good for the rest of the country. There's a balance, and preserving, you know, forests and parks and lakes and rivers and the air and oxygen, it's kind of important. And it adds up after a while. You might not feel like the repercussions today or next year, but 10 years from now, you might really regret some of those decisions that you make. Yes, Linda, it is a mystery box. That's what I send for Christmas, mystery boxes. Yeah, David Jones says all of the agency leaders that are currently being posted have previously stated that their agencies don't need to exist. Yeah, for instance, should the person in charge of education, the Department of Education for the US, should they feel that the Department of Education should exist? I don't know. I think it's important. It's important for the country as a whole to have a educated population. That's how you maintain a strong workforce, and you maintain an edge in technology and all kinds of things. It's very important for the country as a whole to have a smart, educated population and have schools that teach things. And that's really important for the health of a nation, for the stability and for the longevity of a nation, to take care of those things. David Jones says it doesn't need a federal agency or a state. No, definitely federal, because it should be standard across all the states. Otherwise, you end up with one state teaching one thing and one state teaching something and one state. No, it's not. It shouldn't be up for debate like that. The education, the debate of what should be educated should be in charge of people who are educators. For instance, teachers and people who have PhDs in education should be the ones who say, this is what we should teach and this is how, because they're experts in it. Not politicians. Politicians aren't experts in education. People who are PhDs in education, and they should be standardized. It should be federal, because otherwise you have some politician who says, I think we should teach this, and another politician who thinks you should teach this, and you end up you end up with a future possibility of different states teaching different things. So if you live in a different state and you learn one thing and you learn another thing, how's that gonna work? How are you gonna get jobs and colleges and all this stuff? Or like, maybe you didn't learn something because your state didn't believe in it, or your state didn't think it was important to teach, or it was only taught if you went to a special private school. Yes. David Jones says Texas already determines what textbooks will be published for the entire United States. And that's been a problem because I don't know if you guys have read these before, but there have been certain people have opinions about, evolution or different things about our national history. And there was a controversy, I think it was this past year, where instead of talking about, let's take an example, a bad part of our history, slavery, where people were actually, African Americans were actually captured, caught, kidnapped, captured, and taken in ships against their will, captured and sold, and as slaves, as property, and all this stuff. And people were writing these books, these textbooks that kind of, it's not a good part of our history, and the truth is uncomfortable. The truth is not nice, and they were trying to rewrite history in a nicer, softer version, as if, these people that were kidnapped, as if they just kind of decided to come over like a vacation, like they just came over to work here, and they tried to soften it and make it a little more friendly, but it's not friendly. And you can't rewrite history and change things like that because it's not true. And some things are unpleasant, and maybe we wish it didn't happen a certain way, but rewriting history, that's not a good thing, because history is important, because history repeats itself. We can learn from it, we can improve on it. If you made a mistake in the past in your own life, or if your country as a whole makes a mistake, maybe you can learn from it, improve on it, and not do that again. Or the world, for instance, World War I, World War II, there's a lot of lessons that we as people, our entire country, the world, other countries, that there's a lot of lessons to learn from things. What went wrong? How did this happen? How can this not happen again? So it's important to record history accurately, preserve it, and learn from it. But, covering it all up and trying to soften it and make it nicer and make it sound like, we weren't so bad. Well, we were bad. That was bad. So you can't gloss it over. And so that's important, that textbooks don't change things like that. Yeah, there's a lot of things that should be incorporated, and and also, let's say there was also a problem in Texas wanting to add religious teachings to school textbooks, which the state is based on the U.S. Constitution. One of the main foundations is separation of church and state, because we guarantee freedom of a religion. Therefore, we don't teach one religion, because you have the freedom to choose your religion. And that was one of the main tenets of the Constitution and the people who settled, the original settlers, the Pilgrims and everything, because the reason the Pilgrims, the very first American settlers, the reason they came here from Europe, they fled religious persecution. They were being killed in England and in Europe. So they left a place where they were not allowed to practice their Protestant religion. So they came to the US. They started founding and building a country. So when this country was built, one of the most important things was separation of church and state, so that nobody will ever be persecuted for their religion, which is why we came here. So that's in the Constitution. So people who try to say America is a Christian country, America is this, we should teach this religion, that is inaccurate to our Constitution and to our history. We are founded on freedom, not sticking to this tenet. Now, that doesn't mean that the country doesn't believe in God, or that, you know, the majority of the population believes in one thing or other. And it doesn't kick God out, but it just says it's not a mandate, and it's not something that the state is in charge of. And it's not, you know, so taking out people who have a religious belief, who believe, you know, in the creation theory, and which, let me add, the Pope himself, who I'd have to say is the world expert on the Christian religion. The Pope himself says that Catholicism and religion is not in conflict with the Big Bang theory or the theory of evolution. The Pope himself says God is not a magician. He didn't wave a magic wand. Things happen slowly. For instance, if you read the Genesis story and it says God did this in one day, he did this on day 2, he did this on day 3. Okay, that's our version of what one day is, and what God's version of one day, 2 different days. Maybe God's day is 1,000,000 years. So, and that lets you have the theory of evolution. God made evolution. He made the Big Bang. He started all these things. So that is what the Pope says. So if you're in Texas and you're this ultra, Christian conservative, and you're trying to put in a textbook that the earth is only 5,000 years old, and that man and dinosaurs lived at the same time, and all these things happen, well, that's not accurate. And you're teaching things that are not accurate and are easily disproved to young children because of your personal Christian beliefs, which are not the same as the other Christians, which is why we have a separation of church and state, because there are so many different people who believe things from a religious point of view that are not necessarily accurate from a scientific point of view. And you really should teach children. You can teach them both, but you can't like teach your children that the world is only, that the earth is 5,000 years old, because that's just silly. And you end up, like I said, with an uneducated population, which cannot compete in a world market with a population, other countries that have an educated population. So, yeah, if you want a population which is only smart enough to push the button to run the machines that will then take over the world, if you only want people that are smart enough to be worker drones, then fine, get rid of the Department of Education. And maybe that's what those people want. Maybe they want you to be dumb. So then, hey, look over here. Hey, what's happening? Tisa says, thank you for being a friend, Lorielle, and everyone. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. David Jones, I believe it is the first amendment to the Constitution, if you're going to be technical. And yes, it is stated that there is no state religion. Those were important tenets to the founders, our forefounders, who had some very great ideas for the Constitution, who created something really special. And it's really important for us to maintain. If we want to keep it special, we have to fight for it and preserve that. It's very easy for people to take over. David Jones says, teach people to think for themselves, but not what to think. Well, David Jones, people need the truth and facts to think for themselves. There's a difference between opinion, beliefs, and facts. So anyhow, it is 5:45, and I said I wasn't going to start talking politics, but this is but yeah, but I'm feeling I still can't wrap my head around that it's almost Christmas. It's just, I don't know. It's too weird. And yet I know that the weather I believe I saw in the news that the Antarctica of the US in the Dakotas, which is Antarctica of USA. I believe I saw something that it was like minus 30 minus the zero, minus 30, like 30 degrees below zero out there. And like, what the hell does, I don't even, I can't fathom that. I can't fathom that. And how is human life able to even live like that? That's colder than my refrigerator. Aren't you glad that you don't live there anymore, Allura Star? David Jones says he loves minus 30 as long as it's not windy. Yeah, that's minus 30 without the wind chill. Why don't they just have tunnels? Actually, in Minneapolis, which is right near, I think it's Minneapolis. One of the in Minnesota, they have a lot of tunnels and covered walkways and stuff because it gets impossible to walk outside. Yeah. So anyhow, so I'm just about to sign off. I will be here for hump day, and there will be full on humping tomorrow. No. What? No, I mean, wait, no, there'll be no humping. Tomorrow, what? Tomorrow is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Let me just, what is going on with me? Yeah, tomorrow is Wednesday. We'll have humpless day tomorrow. and yeah, so let me say goodbye to everybody and thank you for coming to see me because you're awesome. And David Jones says we should call it Lorielle is still nuts day. Tisa says he needs a good woman to keep me warm. Yes, Tisa. Body heat is a very good way to stay warm. If you're suffering from hypothermia and you're very cold, 2 bodies in a sleeping bag, 2 naked bodies in a sleeping bag with all kinds of clothes and blankets around them will keep you warmer. Skin on skin will keep you warmer than if you both have snowsuits on in the sleeping bag. Just to note, if you're ever stuck like on top of Mount Everest, you're stuck. and you both have snowsuits on and you're sharing a sleeping bag to try and keep warm, you'll do better if you get naked in the same snowsuit and sleeping bag. I always say, if you want to stay alive. All right, so I'm just about to sign off. Linda says she's going to go downstairs and get a sleeping bag and grab her neighbor right now. Quick, it's the only way to stay alive. I know it's cold in Maine. It gets really cold in Maine. All right, I am just about to sign off. Linda says I'm not telling the truth. Wait, Linda says she didn't say that. What? No, I heard it. I know I heard it. I heard it somewhere in my head. All right, I am just about to sign off, but I will see you guys tomorrow. Maybe it was just the voices in my head. I could swear it was Linda. Bye. I love you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, Jesus. Bye, Wing Doggy. Merry Christmas. Bye. I love you all. Bye.